The most important lesson I had to learn was not to force anything. Conversations, friendships, relationships, attention, and love. Forced things are not worth it. What flows, flows, and what fails, fails. It was hard, but I learned to recover and move on without the people I thought would be in my life forever. This is just one of the many lessons that we only learn with time. And here in this video, I will share the main experiences of a seasoned wise man. His mistakes, so that you don't have to make them too. And also his successes, so that you can be inspired. After all, a seasoned person is the witness of many dawns and dusks, and their words are like petals falling gently from the garden of experiences, like a tree that stands firm in the storms. These life lessons are the legacy of a soul that sailed through the tumultuous seas of existence, and I hope the following words can comfort you with peace and wisdom. Let's go. The tranquility of knowing that you are a good person and are not seeking to ruin the lives of others cannot be taken from you. Your conscience is priceless and is the foundation of your happiness. Therefore, for every conscious action you take, always consider what will linger in your thoughts, because they are the basis of your conscience and inner strength. No matter how much negative energy they try to cast upon you, life is such a good teacher that it will repeat the lesson if you don't learn it. So try to learn from the mistakes of others. It will be a less painful and more efficient path. Don't be afraid to lose someone who doesn't feel lucky to have you. Some people discourage you only because they are afraid you will realize your true potential and achieve what they themselves don't have the courage to try. Choose your life partner carefully, because that decision will determine 90% of your happiness or sadness. When someone helps you and is going through a tough situation, that's not just help, that's love. I had to make a tough decision. I had to distance myself from something I wanted in my life because I knew it was hurting me. That was the most beautiful demonstration of self-love I ever dedicated to myself. It's never too late to embark on a new journey, live a new story, or build a new dream. I stopped chasing life a long time ago because I realized it knows exactly where I am. Your peace of mind begins when you decide to break ties that don't add to your life. Here, I will mention some lessons I learned from interacting with many other people, which made me reflect on who I would like to be with, and also when I realized I was just being used. Therefore, give, but don't allow others to use you. Love, but don't allow others to abuse your heart. Trust, but don't be naive. Listen, but don't lose your own voice. This balance may seem complicated, but it is actually something very simple. And with age, it becomes increasingly clear who are the people you should be with. Maybe you already know this answer because it is within you, in your deepest intuition. So, use that perception and wisdom. Some people, when they see that they can't match you, let alone surpass you, will try to defame you. That's called envy. It was hard, but in the end, I understood that the person I never offended has offended me. Many times, people won't notice everything you do for them until you stop doing it. Another great lesson that is an important part of our personal development is about how we should value the trust of those who deserve it. If you manage to deceive someone, it doesn't mean that the person is foolish. It means they trusted you more than you deserved. Love exists. Friends exists. What almost doesn't exist? What almost doesn't exist are people capable of taking on these roles. When you fail with me, make sure I won't need you anymore. Take the power away from everything that disturbs you. According to Stoicism, if something doesn't exist in your mind, it won't exist in your life. Karma isn't the universe's revenge, but a reflection of your actions. So worry more about what you give than what you'll receive. Naturally, over time, you live the life you've always desired because happy people dedicate themselves to building their own world, while unhappy people blame the rest of the world for everything that goes wrong in their lives. There are no excuses for someone who had 1,000 opportunities to do the right things and chose to keep doing wrong. Learn to set boundaries because everything that is allowed, unfortunately, repeats itself. If you think others will do for you what you do for them, you'll be disappointed. When dealing with people who had numerous opportunities to make right decisions, but chose a different path, it's vital to recognize that there are no excuses for this behavior. The ability to make ethical choices and correct mistakes is present in all of us, and those who repeatedly choose the wrong path demonstrate a lack of commitment to fundamental values. Thus, the most important thing you should do if you're in a hole is to stop digging. The importance of setting boundaries becomes evident in this context. Repeatedly allowing someone to cross boundaries or ignore ethical principles establishes a harmful pattern. By setting clear limits and not allowing deviations, you are defending your own values and respecting the integrity of the relationship. Anything that is allowed, especially when it goes against your principles, creates a conducive environment for the repetition of such behavior. The notion of reciprocity is also crucial. Expecting others to treat you the way you treat them is understandable, but it's important to recognize that not everyone shares the same ethics or willingness to act reciprocally. Placing this expectation on others' actions can lead to disappointments, because each individual has their own way of interacting with the world. Stop giving explanations when you realize that people only understand from their own level of perception. At the same time, don't abuse good people. They may forgive you hundreds of times, but when they get tired and decide to leave, they will never come back. Worrying doesn't remove tomorrow's problems, but it steals today's peace. Quickly run away from people who are only by your side while you have something to offer. When addressing worry, it's crucial to understand that anticipating future problems doesn't solve them. On the contrary, constant worry about tomorrow can become an emotional burden, robbing the peace and balance of the present moment. It's prudent to recognize that many of the problems that disturb us may never materialize, and spending excessive mental energy on them only contributes to anxiety. At the same time, careful choice of companions is crucial. People who are by your side only when you have something to offer but disappear in difficult times reveal an opportunistic relationship pattern. These connections are often superficial and based on temporary interests. It's wise to keep a distance from such relationships, as they can become sources of stress and disillusionment. Who disappoints you once will disappoint you 1,000 times. If you fall in love with two people, choose the second one, because if you were truly in love with the first, you wouldn't have fallen for the second. When playing with children, let them win. Seek advice only from people who are where you want to be, because there will always be a new opportunity, a new job, a new love, a new friendship, but never another life. There is no waste when you embrace loneliness. It's hard to fall in love with anyone again. When someone allows you into their soul, don't forget to take off your shoes, because there are places that are sacred. The less sex you have, the more inspiration you'll have to create and use your talents in what you are passionate about. As an adult, live like a young person, advise like an elder, and never stop dreaming like a child. And if no one wants to accompany you, go alone and without fear. Don't worry, you'll meet people along the way. Somewhere in the world, someone is dreaming of having the life you have. Be grateful